Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is August 3rd, 2024. It's reported that the Barcelona players are incredibly impressed with Hansi Flick's training methods. Also, Pedri is in his final stages of recovery, which is, of course, great news. And finally, Barcelona have finalized their first exit during this summer transfer market. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I'm bringing you this very late short live stream so I can keep you up to date on all Barcelona news. As you might have realized, I did not do a podcast yesterday, Friday. That's because, as crazy it might sound, there was a thunderstorm here in New York. A lightning hit the electric pole right outside my building, so I did not have power for like a full day. So I didn't have power yesterday, Friday. That's why I wasn't able to do podcasts or any videos. Today, I didn't have power all day until now, late at night. This is why I'm bringing in this short live podcast to keep you up to date on all the news that you might have missed because my power was out. Now, as soon as I end this live stream, I'm going to start a second one and then a third one because there's so much news. But don't worry, as soon as you're done watching all three, you will be up to date on all Barcelona news. Anyways, let's dive right into the news because Barcelona today defeated Real Madrid 2-1 in a friendly match here in the preseason tour in New Jersey at the MetLife Stadium. In fact, I was at the match. I got to go to the match thanks to my job. They invited me. It's a great match. I will be reviewing that match tomorrow. Right now, it's too late. The match ended at 10 p.m. I didn't get home until 12:30. It took me 2.5 hours to get out of the stadium. Absolutely nuts. I'm exhausted. I'll review the match tomorrow. But for now, let's continue with the news, because it's reported that the Barcelona players are incredibly impressed with Hansi Flick's training methods. Now, speaking of the preseason, since we just mentioned Hansi Flick, it's reported that the German coach right now is working very hard on not only conditioning, which we already knew that even before he arrived, that he was going to be working on conditioning, but Hansi Flick has been working very hard on defensive transitions. It looks like Flick was not happy with what he saw in the match between Barcelona and Manchester City, even though Barcelona did win that match through penalty shootout. But he did not like what he saw because the team did struggle defensively, and as such, Hansi Flick has now been focusing a lot on defensive transitions. What does defensive transitions mean? Well, it can mean two things. First of all, if you're defending and the other team is attacking you, to be able not only to defend well, but to also to transition really quick from defense to offense, catch them on the counterattack, and be able to score. And also, defensive transitions can mean the opposite, where if you are attacking, because we know Hansi Flick's teams like to attack a lot, Flick likes to have all his players attacking in the final third of the opposing team. And that, of course, leaves you vulnerable, because if the other team gets the ball and can attack, now you're exposed because all your players are attacking. So he's working also on that, where the team can transition really quick from attack to defense. So that way, if they do lose the ball in the final third of the opposing team, they can immediately transition back to defense, run back to their area, and defend. Because as you might recall, the Manchester City second goal, that's exactly what happened. Barcelona were attacking. They were caught on a counterattack, and Manchester City were able to score. So Flick has been focusing a lot on defensive transitions as of late. Now, as I mentioned, we all know that Hansi Flick will be working on conditioning, and it's reported that Barcelona players are absolutely mesmerized. They're impressed with the new level of conditioning that Hansi Flick has brought to the team. There's been a lot of new workouts incorporated, weight training workouts, explosive workouts, conditioning workouts that the players are enjoying, that the players are very impressed with, that the players consider that these incorporations are top level and that they're going to help them a lot in their game. As you might recall, the players were not happy with the conditioning under Xavi Hernandez. They had complained to the board of directors on several occasions about the conditioning. And in fact, a lot of the players had hired their own personal trainers, where as soon as they were done training with Xavi, then they would meet with their personal trainers and train again to condition themselves. Well, now there's no such thing. All the players are incredibly impressed with what Hansi Flick has brought. They have been training for 2 sessions a day, each session being 2 hours, where they're even saying the warm-ups, like when a training session begins, it starts with warm-ups. Even the warm-ups are a lot more intense than the actual trainings they used to have under Xavi Hernandez. So the team very, very happy with what Flick has brought. It has been evident. We've seen a lot more intensity against Manchester City. We saw a lot of more intensity today against Real Madrid. Of course, it's still the preseason. It's too early to tell. But we are seeing good signs of improvement. And in fact, our goalkeeper, Mark ter Stegen, had something to say about Flick's methods and the new trainings that they all have been doing. Now, this is what Mark ter Stegen said. I'm seeing how they work and I like it. There's a lot of intensity. The physical part is very important. And we're working hard to be prepared for the whole season. Hansi has always attached great importance to the physical aspect. Every coach is different and has his own philosophy. Hansi attaches great importance to this topic. I hope that this will benefit us and give us all the strength to compete at any time of the season. Well, Hansi has this. He wants to play very fast going forward. Find the place to shoot. Look for that speed in the game and work so that we are perfect defensively. What he wants us for us to have very clear ideas about what we need. And I'm convinced that it will work. But I also don't think we will lose many things from the past, as you say. We want to have possession, dominate the game, and from there, find a decisive moment to attack. So Mark ter Stegen, very impressed with what Hansi Flick's philosophy is and the fact that he's working on a lot on conditioning so the team can be fit throughout the whole season, avoid injuries, and of course, always be ready to confront whatever match they have to and not fall apart like Xavi's Barca used to do after the 60th minute, where they would completely lose all their intensity and all their power. Now, more news about the preseason because Pedri, ladies and gentlemen, is currently during the final stages of his recovery. Now, as you know, Pedri picked up an injury during the Euros while playing with Spain thanks to that horrendous foul that Toni Kroos committed on him. Of course, when the Euros was over, Pedri did come back to the Ciudad Esportiva to meet Hansi Flick, his new coach, to say hello to everyone. And as soon as that was over, he flew to Tenerife, which is where Pedri is from. And then ever since then, Pedri has been recovering in Tenerife, and it's reported that Pedri has now entered the final stage of his recovery, which means that we should expect him back in action pretty soon. Now, they're saying that Pedri could be coming back towards the end of August, so the end of this month. Not a bad timeline. Of course, Barcelona are not looking to rush Pedri's recovery. They want him to take as long as he needs and even more because, Pedri has dealt with injuries in the past. So Barcelona are not trying to rush his recovery, but they are saying that he could be back in the last stretch of August, which it does mean he will miss the first opening match of La Liga. But if he can come back by the end of August, I say that's a win-win. Anyways, we'll end today's video with the news that Barcelona have completed their first exit, and it's no other than Oriol Romeu, who has officially abandoned the Barcelona training camp in the USA as part of the USA preseason tour, has flown back to Spain in order to complete his signing for Girona. Now, they're saying that this is going to be a loan. We don't know what kind of loan it is. If it's going to be, a paid loan, if it's going to be a simple loan where Girona just takes care of the player's salary. We don't know that yet, but we do know that Barcelona have completed the transfer of Oriol Romeu back to Girona. Now, Oriol Romeu's contract with Barcelona does expire next summer. So if he did move on a free loan, that means we pretty much gave him away because he's going to go on loan to Girona. At the end of next summer, his contract will expire with Barcelona, so he'll be able to stay at Girona. If we did get a fee, then great. Again, we don't know yet. We just know that we have loaned Romeu back to Girona. And this was per the player's request. As you might recall, as I told you before, Hansi Flick was actually impressed with Oriol Romeu. He wanted to count on him throughout the season, but it looks like Romeu requested from the club to please let him go back to Girona. Of course, Barcelona did not want to block that exit. They agreed to it. And in the last moment, big surprise to everyone, Romeu ended up leaving Barcelona's camp to fly back to Spain and complete his move 2-0 now. Anyways, that is all the news for this live stream. I will be going live as soon as I end this one. So in like 30 seconds, I'll be going live again because there's a lot of news. I'm trying to recap all the news, given that I didn't have power for over a day. And that's why I wasn't able to make any videos. Anyways, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca Barça.